Previously on Research, Rank, Repeat.
Because we are covering High School Musical songs, baby.
Together,
everyone.
I wanted to do this specifically because I have never seen High School Musical 3 before a couple days ago.
Yes.
Never saw it.
When High School Musical came out, we were definitely at the target age.
Oh, yeah.
We were big into Disney Channel. I remember seeing, 500 previews.
The start
of something
new.
Yeah.
Our song number 1, sung by Troy and Gabriella.
Yeah. Song that kicks off the franchise. Stick to the Status Quo, which is basically the song where it's like, I'm a basketball player, but I bake. And I'm a skateboarder, but I play the cello. The cello!
I'm a smart girl, but I like to dance.
I like to clap my cheeks.
Like to rock and rock and jam and break.
Pop and lock.
Clap my cheeks.
Clap my cheeks. I mean, what can you say about Breaking Free? It's
It's iconic.
It's iconic.
Iconic song.
Yeah.
There's so much good. We also, we probably won't go back over our ranking lists, just so you know at the end, for people listening, that we're just going to cover them for each movie, and that'll
you
be
better fucking listen up.
Let's pay attention. You can rewind. Use that 10-second back skip button. But yeah, that's High School Musical.
That is High School Musical.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah. Okay, shall we move on to High School Musical 2?
Yes.
Yeah, one thing I find interesting, which I was going to mention, is that all these movies came out within a year of each other.
Yeah, it was like, for some reason in my mind, I was like, the second movie came out in 2008, and then the last movie must have come out when I was in high school.
No,
but
it's 2006, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
Which, I think the Disney Channel original movies tend to come out quicker, I think, because they have a lesser budget, a faster filming, but to do 3 movies that are choreographed music, dance, that's insane.
Yeah, I think they used to do, at one point, they were putting out one a quarter for Disney Channel original movies.
But that's crazy to do 3 with the same cast, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And have them do 3 back-to-back-to-back movies like that.
Yeah, it is impressive.
Yeah. Anyways, so this movie came out in 2007, rated G, was 1 hour and 51 minutes. I also got that from Disney Plus, so like Alyssa said, it might be a little bit off. It has a 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb, an 83% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3.3 on Letterboxd, so 0.1 higher than the first one.
Okay.
Directed by Kenny Ortega and written by Peter Barsocchini.
Yeah. I think they did all 3 films collectively.
So this was a television film, a Disney Channel original movie. It was the 70th Disney Channel original movie that came out. 70th, which is insane.
I can't believe they put out 70. I wonder if they're counting some of the old stuff that's
they
not
probably are.
They're 89 to whatever.
Well, in this information,
either way, still a lot. Yeah,
from the most trusted source on the web, Wikipedia.
That's so crazy. 70 is a lot.
So once again, they filmed in Utah. They did a couple scenes in Los Angeles, and I believe they filmed at a country club in Utah for the golf course and the country club scenes, the outside shots. Mm-hmm. So this became the most commercially successful DCOM ever produced. It had 17 million viewers for the premiere broadcast.
I was there.
I was also
one of them.
Which I believe High School Musical, the original, was 7 million, so 10 million more.
7.5?
Yeah, so basically 10 million more.
1 minute, where did I put that? 7.7.
Yeah. And it also, it still remains the highest.
Does it?
Broadcast premiere on Disney Channel. For a movie.
That's, I remember it as having watched it. I remember it being a big deal. We specifically had a sleepover to watch the premiere and learn the dances. Yeah. So, yeah.
And at the time, it was the highest rated basic cable telecast as well. The soundtrack, certified double platinum in its first week. It debuted number 1 in the United States. What Time Is It reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah.
So Disney Channel had aired a weekly program called Road to High School Musical 2 that started like a month or two before this premiere, and each week they would show like behind the scenes footage.
I feel like I remember this. Yeah.
I think they played one or two of the songs like ahead of time, like you got a sneak peek of the songs.
I definitely remember seeing part of What Time Is It before the film came out, for sure.
It won numerous awards, Teen Choice and various different teen voted awards. There is a guest appearance, a brief, very brief guest appearance, from Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
And I looked into it. Apparently, Disney ran a poll they had people vote on which Disney Channel actress. I believe from what I've read, it was like Miley Cyrus, Raven-Symoné, and there was like one or two other actresses at the time. And they said, like, which one would you like to see in the movie? And Miley Cyrus ended up winning. Which is funny because then she was only in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know. She basically just like dances in the end and has no lines or singing part really or anything. Yeah, she's just kind of there. She's just there to hang.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah, I thought that was interesting how they picked. So, that's most of the background.
Okay.
I could find. I'm going to do a little summary.
All right.
What time is it? It's time to watch the hit of the summer. A movie so iconic that my entire 6th grade class chanted summer on the last day of school. If you blink, you will miss a cameo by Miley Cyrus. This movie has everything. Music, dancing, gay-clothed swapping, and people who gotta go their own way. And let's not forget the iconic sequence of Zac Efron angstily running across a golf course. Yeah.
It's truly iconic. The memes from COVID that came out for this movie were truly something. Like,
it healed me.
It healed us. I think, like, I still have some of them saved for sure. Like, some of those Troy memes, like, him on the golf course, like, with his hands like that, like, the reflection.
Yeah.
There were some good ones.
Yeah. I think High School Musical 2 is a very good sequel. I think that they had a pretty strong plot, and the story tends to flow pretty well, I find. And to me, I find it has one of the more believable, like, conflicts in the movie, with Troy kind of being, like...
I would agree.
He wants to, like, do his... Like, he wants to do his thing, and he also, like, gets promotions, and everyone's, like, shitting on him, but it's not really his fault.
It's, like, I think at a certain point, he becomes kind of an asshole, but,
well,
like,
yeah,
initially... But I feel like they also were giving him a hard time, even when he wasn't doing anything wrong. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just find it to be, like, a pretty well-done plot. One of the better done, like, sequels, especially for, like, a Disney Channel original movie. And, yeah, I enjoy it. I think it has a really strong... I had a hard time ranking the songs. I think it has a pretty strong lineup of songs.
It's weird because I feel like it has a highs and lows.
Yeah, like, very split.
Like, but
the top half is hard to rank.
I would agree, yeah. I think that was definitely the hardest. Like, I feel like High School Musical was pretty easy for me. Like, I kind of knew what my top 3 was, and I knew what order it was in.
Yeah, this one's a little bit.
That's when I had to think a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But should we start at the beginning?
Yeah, the very best place to start.
And they start chanting summer because school's almost out. The logo for the movie looked real rough, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It was looking rough. Not luff. They don't have that theatrical budget yet.
No.
Someone, I don't know, I didn't write down who said this, but someone said, quote, Miss Darbus has snapped her cap. Snapped her cap, popped her puss.
Popped her puss and snapped that cap.
Snapped that cap,
clapped
popped
those
her cheeks.
We just,
Just really having a great time.
Yeah.
But that leads us into our first song. What time is it?
What time
Ensemble,
is it?
Singing the song.
Yeah, and for some reason, Zac Efron's eyes are so blue in this movie.
It's almost like they added a filter.
Yeah.
And his hair is still a little dyed from Hairspray.
Right.
Definitely. Like, it's a lot darker than what his hair is in the first and third movies.
Yeah.
The fact that he does a little penguin slide.
Oh, I love it.
His little striped shirt.
Yeah, I think it's a cool choreo, especially when they're like in the hallways and they're dancing off the lockers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think it was some fun choreography. We got a little bit of basketball in there. You know, they gave us a little bit because they were like, hey, remember when we did basketball stuff?
Yeah.
And everyone got like a little bit, you know, and they finally give Taylor some singing lines. Yeah. She finally gets to sing because they didn't let her sing
to show off his dance moves.
He does. He also shows off his Majored in Vacation t-shirt.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's overall pretty strong start to the movie.
I think so, too. Yeah. I think it is a pretty, it's memorable.
Yeah.
It's a really memorable opening song.
We've also chanted Summer multiple times on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've said Summer a lot.
Yeah.
But then basically it's like, hey, you guys are done with high school, get a job.
Yeah, you all suck.
Get some money. I like how Troy's like, people gotta pay for college, you know? Can't get it handed to us.
Like he doesn't have a scholarship waiting for him.
I know. I'm like, true that, Troy, though. I'm like, you know, it's
he's aware.
Real that he's
aware.
You know, that he's like, I can't just get college, you know, I have to pay for it. Got to get some money. Eggs cost money.
He does. Which, honestly, in the first movie, he, has a pretty big house.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be he's not thinking he's just going to get handed everything.
Right. And as we see in the next movie, he's got a shit truck.
Yeah, he's got a shitty truck.
He's got a real junker.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically what happens is Sharpay is going to the country club because her parents they got a lot of money, got their own private helicopter. Her and Ryan are hanging, apparently live there, I don't know, or they commute
I think it's it must be close by because
I guess because they have to go to work. But basically, she's like, give Troy a job because I want him.
Yeah.
Which is a fun plot point. We love that.
Yeah, it's weird.
We love that recurring plot point of Sharpay being obsessed with Troy even though he's dating someone. You know, we love that plot point. That never goes away the entire time.
Nope.
Even though it should have after this film. But anyway, so basically she's like, give him a job. And then she goes to the pool.
Yeah. And she's fabulous.
She's fabulous.
We break out into fabulous, and it's basically Sharpay being like, I'm a bitch who knows what I want.
Towels imported from Turkey, and Turkey imported from Maine.
Yeah.
And Ryan's there, too.
Ryan plays a piano solo in the pool.
He sure does. I think it's shot in a really fun way.
Yes.
I think the videography, cinematography,
yeah,
is really well done.
Yeah.
The song itself, I think, has never been a favorite of mine, but I think it's a well done song.
I just think that this song, for the time it came out, is pretty iconic. It's
very Paris Hilton.
Sharpay is kind of modeled after Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah, absolutely. London Tipton, there's
And I think the song is perfectly embodies Sharpay as a character.
Yeah.
It's fun.
More.
Yeah, it's fun. And then it ends with her seeing Troy and then immediately seeing the entire basketball team and Gabriella's already a lifeguard.
Yeah,
and she's been there for 2 seconds.
We're gonna ignore that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fun song. I thought it shot really fun. It's fun. It's definitely
fun.
It is Sharpay.
It is to
it's
a
for
T.
her.
Yeah.
To a T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
For her. I'm
Yeah.
for it. Chad is wearing a warning, do not read the shirt at work.
The shirt.
And I read the shirt.
Yeah.
Yogini? I don't know. I said that's quite the name. She calls him that when he goes to do yoga with their mom.
Oh,
Yogini?
yes.
Yogini?
Yes.
Yogini? I don't know. Anyway. They kiss on the lips, which I always hate every time I see that. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yuck.
Yeah.
But basically they're like, hey, we had to hire the entire high school as caterers and busboys and lifeguards to get Troy here.
Yeah. And
so
they quickly realized that having a job is not fun.
It's not.
And they're like, we gotta work? What?
Work this out.
And they're gonna work this out. And when I tell you that I cannot, it's always funny to me when I see the clip where it's just silent and it's if Work This Out didn't have the music and it's just pots and pans being banged on. Yeah. I will say I love Chad and Troy's choreo in this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Their footwork is super clean.
It is it is you can even tell the camera backs out and it's a different composition. You can tell it's a nicer camera is doing that shot. Something I would like to bring up. I cannot think of this song and not think of the middle school women's basketball team doing a dance to this at some sort of winter assembly.
Yeah.
A friend of mine in high school, I won't name her, but she was on, we can bleep, was on the basketball team, and I just remember being like, oh, they're doing a dance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure she's thrilled with that. But
Yeah.
they had to do, like, they did this dance, like, they learned the dance, and they were, like, running around and pretending to bang on pots and stuff, and they thought, you know, like, for middle school, it was a hit.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, like, that's all I can think about.
Yeah. But yeah, I think overall it's like a good, again, it's like the whole group is in this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're like, you know, we can do this. We're all in this together, one team. Any t-shirts at this point.
Not between, we pretty much go right from 3 to 4.
We kind of go in and they hear like a piano playing, and Troy and Gabriella are like, oh, Kelsey's ready to get us going on a ballad.
Yeah, she's written a song and there's a talent show. So
yeah.
let me hear what you have to written.
And they do You're the Music in Me. Which is, I feel like this...
It's like a Troy and Gabriella song, but then becomes an ensemble
like
song.
A group song. This, I feel like this is one of the better written songs.
I would agree. Like, I think for, like, the simpler, like, not choreographed numbers, I think this is one of the better ones, for sure.
And I think you can definitely tell that, like, the two of them are actually dating in real life in this one, because there's a lot of chemistry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it turns into this, like, group ensemble, and it's like a fun little number.
It's fun. I've always really liked this song.
Yeah. It's very simplistic in terms of, like, all the scenes they do in the movie. It's one of just kind of, like, a simple, like, they're just sitting around a piano.
They're at the piano. Yeah. They're just hanging out. They're learning. Like, I think the reason why I like this one and not something like When There Was Me and You.
Yes.
Is it works because it's, like, the way it's written and the way it's, like, performed works well in that setting.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, like, in that scene it works, others it doesn't for me.
Yeah, and so then we just kind of, like, everyone goes about their jobs.
Apparently, I wrote down the line, quote, golden throat this jazz square.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means, but apparently someone said that. Ryan or Sharpay or somebody.
Yeah, I don't know, but we're getting this plot of where Troy's starting to get more special treatment.
Yeah, he's been upgraded to a caddy.
Yeah, he gets to be a caddy. Chad gets to caddy with him, and they have to caddy for Sharpay's family.
He's there.
Yeah. Troy gets to show off his golf, because not only is he a basketball star, he's also on the golf team.
I also wrote down Sebastian Hastings. Was there is your dad named Sebastian?
No, because Troy wearing the suit at the dinner looks just like Amanda Bynes, and she's
looked like
man.
Amanda Bynes and Sebastian Hastings. Okay, I was like, I was trying to remember. I'm like, why did I write this comment? But you're right. It is what he's wearing the suit. He looks just like Amanda Bynes.
But we're starting to get this rift where he's kind of getting this special treatment, and his boys and his friends aren't necessarily liking it, and Tim and Gabriella are having, like, they keep getting in trouble. And Gabriella's the one who keeps getting punished. And he's like, yeah, let's go, like, have a picnic. And then he gets swept away to a scene that didn't actually originally air.
It did,
but then it didn't.
So it did, and then it didn't, and then I guess Disney Plus added it back when they did it. But the song is Huna Nuna Nuna Naka.
Yeah.
Huna Nuka Nuka.
Huna Nuka Nuka Na.
Anyway, Sharpay and Ryan singing, and this one, definitely culturally insensitive.
Yeah.
Based on, I don't know if it's real. I didn't look it up. I really didn't want to. I don't want to acknowledge a song anymore than that exists. But because we talked about, we said if it's in the Disney Plus version, we'll do it. But if it's not, we weren't going to do it
if it wasn't in it. Yeah.
We were just going to mention that it existed, but not cover it. But it's like, I'm imagining it's a fake Hawaiian, like, fairy tale story that they turn into a song, but it's, like, really yikes.
It's also just not good.
It's also not a good song, and it's really weird how long there is of a gap between The Music and Me to even this song and then I Don't Dance after that. Like, there's a huge gap in time.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, it's pretty much it sucks. It's bad. It's a bad song. It's also, like, the fact that they deleted it from the movie probably means that somebody was like, hey, even, again, this is in 2007.
Right.
Somebody was like, hey, maybe this is not a great song to have in this movie. And it's not plot relevant. It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. It doesn't really make sense. It's like a weird, like, come in this cave and watch me perform. This is what I want to do. Because Sharpay wants him to perform with her for this, like, talent show.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chad's wearing a Viva La baseball shirt.
Nice.
And Troy gets picked up by some college basketball guys to go play basketball.
Yeah.
And he's going to miss the big game.
Yeah, he's going to miss the big staff baseball game.
Big staff baseball game that only the men
It turns
play
out
in.
just the men are allowed to play.
It's just the men. But Ryan shows up and they're like, hey, you should come join us. Because we actually kind of like you. And Chad's like, you got game?
Yeah.
And Ryan is like,
Then they do the backyard baseball.
They do the backyard baseball hand to the top. And Chad's like, I don't dance.
Yeah.
I don't sing.
But let me show you.
You can't. But let me show you in the song.
Also,
I
is
don't
this
dance.
the first, like, male-male duo we get?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's Chad and Ryan.
Yes.
Which, I'm not gonna lie, this works.
Yeah.
In a way it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it does. Like,
No, it does.
I've always enjoyed this number.
Yeah, I think it's cool, too, because I think, as someone, like, me and Alyssa both played softball, t-ball, and, like, I've watched a lot of baseball. They actually do, like, legit baseball stuff. Like, they check the runner, and they, like, do a pickoff. Like, it's cool to see. And I think it's really well done. I think it's a cool mix of, like, the athleticism with, like,
too.
it's a surprise duo.
Yeah. It's, like, kind of jazzy.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, it's a bit of, like a little bit of, like, funk going on.
Yeah.
The pop. I don't dance. I know you
I think it's fun.
It's just, like, it's a fun number. Any other, like, they never share another scene together again.
Not really. Unless
besides
it's
this one.
Yeah.
But I really like the pairing, and I feel like we could have gotten more of that. Same with, like, Ryan and Gabriella kind of become friends throughout this movie, and then when we get to the third movie, they just don't ever hang out again, which is fine.
And then we get the scene post where they have changed outfits. They have swapped outfits.
They've swapped outfits.
Yes.
Which, how did nobody just, like, notice or...
So there are theories that they have a little gay mance going on.
Well, that's my theory.
Yeah.
I feel like Chad's a little bi-curious.
Chad definitely would be bi.
I feel like 2025. He's denying that he loves singing and dancing.
Right, he's very, like, against it, but also is willing to participate.
Also,
yeah.
He's also willing to try.
Willing to try anything.
You'll never know. Oh, I know.
If you never suck my dick.
Go stick tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, better swing.
Yeah. Got to
Swing
let me
up.
do my thing.
My thing.
Yeah, they're
do my thing. Do my thing.
They would fuck.
Anyway,
if it was HBO.
But the fact that they swap clothes is hilarious to me. Like, I think you told me that. I think I just
I remember I saw that on something.
Yeah,
and I never noticed it.
And I'm like, fantastic.
Yeah,
but then Troy shows up and Ryan's like, oh, Gabrielle's mom's dessert, was it brownies?
Her mom makes the best brownies in the world. And he goes, I know.
I've had them.
Yeah, he gets very
jealous,
threatened.
He gets very threatened by Ryan. Ryan. Come on, it's Ryan. If you're threatened of Ryan, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
like, you are in the wrong.
There's also no reason to believe that there's anything going on between them.
Yeah. It's just like, all right.
Yeah.
All right, Troy.
Yeah, and
Troy.
Troy is like, you know, Sharpay is basically like, you'll sing with me, right? Like, we'll get a chance to sing together. And he's like, yeah, sure.
Okay. So then she's like, get up on stage with me and do the song you did earlier, but extremely fast.
Yeah.
The music and me.
We get that fast version, and I just said I don't enjoy this version.
So this one's hard for me because it's like, I get that's supposed to be bad. Yeah. Like, you're supposed to, like, recognize that it's the not good version of the song, but also I don't like it either. It's too fast, and it's too fast, and it's like, it's just like a lot, and then it's very chaotic. Yeah, is probably the way I'd put it. And then also, like, there's another weird like hiding around the corner moment. Yeah, where they're like, where I'm just like, how is nobody seeing each other? Are they all blind? Right. And Gabrielle's giving him a lot of grace, Troy, because this is getting to the part where he's just like not showing up and not, ignoring his friends and her. And
I made a note that she's like, for a teenager, she's very level-headed.
Oh yeah,
and I
absolutely.
feel like she's like, she just doesn't want to play the games, and she's like, you know, like, she just doesn't want to play the games, and she's like, you know, like, you know, like, this summer was supposed to be like fun, and it's just not, and
it's not.
Yeah,
and I think I gotta go my own way.
Yeah, and this song changed the trajectory of my life.
I gotta say, this song now, Hannah, would you say this was your favorite song from this movie?
Yeah, remember iTunes used to tell you how many times you listened to a song?
Yeah.
I think it was like in the hundreds, and that was pretty much just me.
I have heard this song so many times.
Yeah.
And Hannah and I think we've mentioned on here, we used to play like song games where we'd like play songs and you'd have to like, someone would stop and you'd have to guess the lyrics. And anytime this showed up for Hannah, she was guaranteed a win on that song. Because you had the inflections down the try. Like,
yeah, I knew all the like side. Yeah.
But it's, I wrote down it's a Hannah favorite.
Yeah. And you know,
what about us?
When that necklace comes off at the end.
It's over.
Yeah, it's just like an angsty, like,
I feel like it works. It's
does.
a good angsty duet. Like, I think it gets the point across. It's like, it's nice. I think it's not too slow. It's serious enough. Silly enough, you know?
Yeah, and I
appreciate it.
I think it just is like, yeah, like Gabriella's basically like, this is just not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah.
No,
for now.
I don't wish you any bad, but like.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that it's like for now. Yeah. Like, this is how it has to be. You know, she's not like, we're done. She's like, hey, I gotta take a break. Like,
yeah, you know, and she runs off to her mom's minivan, and Troy's just like, my girlfriend pieced out,
left.
My boys don't want to be friends with me. And I
pissed everyone off.
I'm pissed, and I need to go.
I'm just trying to get a basketball scholarship. Yeah, so I have to pay for college.
I need to go run around a golf course.
And he's got a bet on it.
He's got a bet on it.
And this is the Troy solo number. Yeah, I think this is the since Get Your Head in the Game, maybe the first Troy solo.
Yeah,
number,
but this is like truly solo. There's
this is
no
truly
other
solo.
No one else.
And he is angsty.
Yeah.
And this is what I would say is my favorite bad song.
Yes.
Like, it's so corny and over the top, and he's so full of angst, and he's just like dance fighting on the golf course, like Footloose style. Got like the reflection, but it's fun. During the middle of it, he just starts doing golf swings. Like, he has a golf swing breakdown. It's just fun, though.
Yeah.
I think it's so unserious that I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, when he jumps into the sand trap.
Yeah.
When he his reflection in the water is like the fakest thing I've ever seen in the entire world.
It's just great.
Yeah.
It's just solid. And then at this point in the movie, his hair changes color.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty apparent that at this point the hair dye is probably worn off a bit from hairspray. I definitely noticed between Bet on It and the next bit, his hair was different.
Right.
But Troy's got to make things right by the end of the show, right? There's a talent show. He's got to make things right for his friends. He's got to figure it out because they've been banned from performing at the talent show.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, they make a rule that no staff can perform, and Troy's like, well, I'm staff. So.
Yeah. So, fuck it.
Sharpay's like, well, you're a white man. The rules don't apply to you.
You're not a DEI hire.
Yeah.
Which, arguably, he's the most DEI hire because she hired him specifically so she could date him.
Yeah.
No experience needed.
But he's like, you know, I'll make good on my promise. I'll sing with you.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out there in his little suit. The wind starts going.
And Ryan tricked his sister.
Yeah. And they said,
like, I'm tired of your shit.
We pulled Gabriella. We told her to come. And we got a song. And
every day.
It's every day, baby.
It's every day. Troy and Gabriella, and again, ensemble.
Yeah. And I think this is their attempt at a breaking free moment.
And it doesn't hit as hard.
It's not it. It's not it.
I would agree.
It is weird too because they spend a large chunk of this movie being like, this is the group number and this is great, and the group doesn't come in till the last like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, I feel like it drags a little.
Yeah.
It's a little dull. It's never been a favorite. Like, even when I watch the movie, like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't like, I think they tried to replicate that breaking free and just didn't.
And they just couldn't
get it.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it right, but it's fine. Yeah. You know, it's a fine end. But then we got our full
it's not the end.
Dance number ending.
Yeah. They
all for one.
They're like, you know, we have these rocks and this waterfall.
And we got a pool.
Chad drops his microphone.
He does.
Which I showed Alyssa. She did not notice it.
I'd never seen it. Yeah. I did find out that he danced. So they have the group song at the end. Everybody gets a little line, take it to the summer.
Yeah.
Real summer has just begun.
Yeah, you get Miley Cyrus.
Trying to do a We're All in This Together, but summer version, and it's fine.
It doesn't hit the same, but I think it makes sense for the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. We're basing it all around summertime themes, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And Miley Cyrus shows up, and she's there. She's hanging out.
Yeah. And then we're truly done.
And then we're out. There's no end credit scene.
And if I counted right, we have 11 songs.
We got 11.
Okay, would you like to start?
Yeah, number 11 is Huma Numa Huka Muka Aka Pua Pua. And I butcher that, and I'm sorry to the people, of Hawaii and, Pacific Islands that I've maybe offended, or maybe they're offended by this. Who knows, right? Either way, it's just not a good song, and they definitely removed it because, I feel like it's pretty obvious if you watch it that it's a little yikes.
Yeah.
A little yikes.
And number 11 is the same song. I'm not going to attempt to repeat the title.
Yeah. Number 10, I have You Are the Music and Me, the Sharpay version.
Yeah.
I think that it is just not, super entertaining. It's not super enjoyable. It's definitely not as good as the first version, so it's just eh.
Yeah, I have the same number 10, I think, for the same reasons. It didn't measure up to the first one, and it comes later on in the film, and it's just kind of it's not needed.
Number 9, I have Work This Out. I think it's a fun song. I think it works. You can definitely tell the choreography's there, but again, I can only picture middle school basketball players doing the choreography, and it, has really tainted the song for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Number 9, I went All for One. I think it's, a nice finishing number. It's cool to see Miley, but I just think there's nothing special about it.
Yeah. Number 8, I have All for One. I agree. I think it's a fine song. I think it serves the purpose of the movie, but I don't think it's anything special.
Yeah. Number 8, right? Number 8, yes.
Yeah, number 8.
Number 8, I have Every Day. My only note is that it's the worst version of Breaking Free. So.
Yeah. Number 7, I have Every Day. Same thing. Yeah. It's just not, it's a little too dull for me.
Yeah. Number 7, I went with Work This Out. I really like the dance in this, but again, it's just kind of one of those songs that's it's forgettable. Mm-hmm. It kind of appears mid-movie, and it's kind of just meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta work for real. We have jobs.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Number 6, I have Fabulous. I enjoy Fabulous. I think it's a fun song. I think it works. But when you get to the top 6 is a tough pack.
It is.
It's I think it's a solid 6 songs in that movie are bulk together. So I had a hard time picking, but I think that made the most sense for me to put it at 6. I enjoy it. It is I would say everything 6 and up is solid High School Musical 2 song.
Yeah, number 6 I went with What Time Is It? I think it's a really good intro, and I think it is cool. I think that characters kind of get to shine who didn't get to in the first movie. But it just, like you said, the top 6 for me were all a lot of them were very close and could have gone in different orders, and it just kind of ended up there.
Number 5, I have Bet On It. Bet On It is cheesy and corny and silly, but it works in a weird way, and it's just it's a fun angst number, and it just led to a lot of memes, so I gotta appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, number 5, I have I Don't Dance. This song definitely could have gone higher, but it's a really cool dance sequence. I really like the pairing of the two side characters. Mm-hmm. But there's just a couple other songs that I just really like and enjoy.
Number 4, I have I Don't Dance. And I feel I Bet On It and I Don't Dance could swap. Yeah. They're pretty similar to me. But it's just it's a fun number that I don't feel should work, but it does. Yeah. The pairing of Ryan Chad I think is fun. The baseball aspect to it, and they're kind of fighting I don't dance but you could I think it's just it's playful and it's fun, and I think it works weirdly well in this movie.
Yeah. Number 4, I have You're the Music and Me. I just find this to be an incredibly charming number, and I think it's simple. It works. I appreciate that they don't go over the top with it.
Yeah. Number 3, I have Gotta Go My Own Way. I really appreciate this song. I think it works really well. But I gotta say, I think listening to it with you about 100 plus times in my youth has made me like, nah, I can't like it's can't be at the top. But three felt right. Okay. 3 felt right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You ruined it.
I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. Number 3 is Bet on It. Is it the best song? No, but is it iconic? Yes. And
absolutely.
I think the memification of it has raised it for me.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be a lot lower if it wasn't memed to back.
It really at one
COVID.
point got me through COVID. And I think for that, it gets a top 3 spot.
That's fair. Number 2, I have What Time Is It? I don't know. For some reason, this song, I feel like, is a really good opener.
Okay.
Like, it's really energetic. It's really fun. I think it sets the stage immediately. I mean, we say summer all the goddamn time. Yes. This is, like, probably, if I was going to picture the movie, this is probably what I'd think of.
Okay.
Honestly, like, the scene, like, the opening scene is maybe something, like, it's just, like, something about that just, like, it sticks with me, is, like, what I think of.
Interesting.
So, I feel like 2 felt right.
Interesting you say that, because 2 I put there because of the same thing. When I think of High School Musical 2, I think of Fabulous. Okay, and I think of this sequence of Sharpay, and, like, just a song that, is there ever a more perfect song for a character to, like, to just spell out who they are? And every time I think of High School Musical 2, I think of the pool scene, and I think of Fabulous, and it's not the best written song. It's pretty funny, though.
It is funny.
It's funny. Yeah. It's meant to be kind of like this jokey song, but it really works. And I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah. Number 1, I have You Are the Music of Me, the first version. I have really always liked this song. I feel like it was my favorite when I was younger. I feel like if I had to think about it, it's probably the one I would have picked when I was, 14 years old. And it's like, it's weird because it's like, I usually with like these movies, I'm not particularly drawn to the slow, drawn out songs, but I feel like this one like has enough where it like picks up and then you get the chorus like ensemble coming in, and it's just fun. I've just always really liked it. Still like it.
Yeah, I mean, number 1, Gotta Go My Own Way. I just wrote, come on. Yeah. It's just...
What about us?
It changed me. And
what about Trust?
I know every single word.
Yeah, I do too, by association. I had to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're getting those lyrics right.
It's just, that pick is pure childhood me.
Mine is too. Yeah. So I feel like that's fair. All right. Now we go to High School Musical 3. So they weirdly didn't have a ton of background for High School Musical 3.
That's fine.
But High School Musical 3, senior year. It's got a little subtitle in this one because they're graduating. It's time. It's released in 2008, rated G, and has a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes. Same director and writer as the first 2 movies. It's the first movie, though, to have a theatrical release. So we actually have some box office information with this one. So Utah, to try to convince High School Musical to come back and film in Utah, gave them a $2 million tax break incentive, which is the largest the state has ever given to a movie. Apparently that's still the case, which I think is hilarious, that they're giving the tax breaks to High School Musical. But I get it, like, iconic high school.
Yeah.
Originally, the movie was titled Haunted High School Musical. It was intended to be themed around Halloween due to all of the Halloween Town and, like, Halloween-themed movies that Disney had been putting out, but they scrapped that idea and decided to go for senior year, like, end of the year graduating instead. And I'm, like, trying to imagine a Halloween-themed High School Musical, and I feel like for an end, wouldn't.
No, I'm glad they scrapped it.
I don't think it would have worked. So I think that's fine. Another fun fact is the actor who plays Chad's dad in the movie is actually Cordon Blue's father in real life.
Oh, cool.
So his dad played his dad.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, oh, that's fun. And because I wanted to bring this up because I felt like it was very relevant at the time, is that there was a whole... Vanessa Hudgens had a nude photo scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Where, again, and I'm just going to say this, she at the time is 20.
Yes.
She's not a minor.
Right.
And there is a scandal where a nude image of her is leaked to the internet.
Yes.
And I fully believe that somebody leaked it against her permission. And it was not intended to, but basically she got a ton of heat and had to publicly apologize for her nudes leaking. Yeah. Her own private images.
Right.
And this is, again, 2008, so it's a very different time. But there was a whole scandal about the rumors that she wasn't going to get to be in the third movie because of that, because, like, you know, Disney actresses and actors have to have a clean image. But basically, I think Disney was like, I think the quote was like, we think she's learned her lesson, or something along those lines. Right. And I just want to, because I'd forgotten about that. And when I was reading about this film, I was like, oh yeah, that was a whole thing. And I'm like, again, like, I know we talked about this with, like, our Lindsay Lohan movie ranking, but the way that media and the, like, entertainment industry treated young women during that time is, like, pretty disgusting. Yeah. I think it's insane that, like, someone who's, like, nude images, and, like, this happened a little bit later when, like, a bunch of famous, like, actors and actresses had their, like, nudes leaked. Right. Like, again, it's not them doing it. Like, people hacked their phones and their clouds and stole their nude images and leaked them to the public, is a real breach of privacy. Yeah. Especially in 2008 when it wasn't as, like, I feel like hacking getting images like that was not as common. Right. I mean, the biggest one, like, especially relevant now, like, Pamela Anderson having her sex tape leaked. Yeah.
Well, I remember, like,
it's pretty relevant
Kim
again.
Kardashian's was pretty big, too, like, when that happened.
Yeah, so, like, I think Paris Hilton had, like, someone of hers leaked as well. But I feel like it was so put on those women, specifically, and not on someone who leaked their image, right? Or leaked their personal images that were not intended, like, for a public audience, but then they were blamed for those things happening.
Right, and I remember, like, the narrative around Vanessa Hudgens was that she was, like, a slut, and, like...
Yeah,
like, they basically, people were like,
and again,
oh, well...
she's 20.
Right, and it's like, they were basically like, oh, because she's this way, this is why it happened, and they don't...
Like, I can't believe she would take those photos. And I'm like...
And they don't focus on the fact that, like, someone, like, hacked into their personal property, and, like, that's what the focus should be, but it, like you said, it's put on them. It wasn't.
Yeah. So anyway, because it was in the Wikipedia article, I felt like I had to address it, and, like, how ridiculous it is that like, that was the, like, nothing happened to her in terms of, like, Disney. Like, she still was in the movie.
The narrative,
But just, like, the whole, like, narrative of the controversy and, like, basically all the blame was on her. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's just, like, upsetting. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I would agree.
But the film had mixed to positive reviews. People mainly citing the increased budget. You can tell with a lot of the choreography.
The opening scene.
Or the opening film. Yeah.
The, like, title
People specifically talked about the intro, like, the introduction scene and song being a specific, like, you can see the increase in budget. Oh, yeah.
That sweat.
That zoom in. But the box office. Now, I have a couple records and fun facts that came about with this. So, in the box office, it made $259.9 million on a $30 million budget, which clearly did well, was successful for Disney. It made $90.5 million in the first 3 days, which was the record largest opening weekend for a musical film. It beat the record. What film do you think it beat to get that record?
Musical film.
Yes.
Hairspray?
No. We've covered it on this podcast.
I suddenly can't think of any movies we've done on this podcast.
It would have come out around the same time frame. You've seen it many times. Many. Like, I'm sure at least 10 times you've seen this movie. We also saw it on the stage.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Yes, okay. Mamma Mia.
Yep.
Previously held that record. It also had the biggest opening day budget until Les Mis, Les Miserables.
Yep.
What had held that before was Enchanted. Biggest opening day for a musical film was Enchanted before. And then I think the film that took the record after High School Musical 3 was Pitch Perfect 2.
Okay.
I don't think that still holds the record. It's probably Wicked, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would say
probably
Wicked.
It took a lot of those records.
Well, I think, I'm sure Greatest Showman took over. Yeah, then I imagine Wicked, yeah.
The soundtrack reached number 2 on the Billboard 200 in the U.S. It also led to a spin-off TV film called Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, which I've never seen. So, I don't even know if it's musical. I have no idea what the plot is. I know Sharpay's in it and a dog, and that's about all I got. It also eventually led to the spin-off of a TV series in Disney Plus featuring Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter.
High School Musical.
The series. The series. I think Sabrina Carpenter was in that, right? Yeah, and they're
Joshua Bassett.
Yes, amongst other people.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, that's a show. It has a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, 57 out of 100 Metacritic, 5 out of 10 in IMDb, and 3.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And I've realized right now that I did not finish writing my summary, so I'm gonna wing it.
Okay.
We're gonna
do on the spot.
We're gonna go off the cuff. I wrote a bit of it,
okay,
and then I just looked at it and I'm like, I just didn't finish it.
We'll just do a little improv and see what you come with.
Okay. Okay. This graduation season, we're all in this together. Right here, right now, Troy, Gabriella, and friends are getting ready to graduate. The only question is, will Troy choose basketball, or will he choose dance and theater and song? He'll wait until the last minute to do so, because apparently you can wait until May to make a decision about your school, but we will follow the High School Musical through a High School Musical.
Yeah.
Will Troy get that scholarship to Juilliard that he's always dreamed of, even though he didn't apply to the school? Will he go to his father's alumni, U of A? Or will he disappoint everyone and leave to go to California to be with his girlfriend in his old shitty beater truck? Together. Together, everyone. It's now or never. Okay, anyway, that's it. That's the summary.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot to finish the summary.
I think it's very clear about the budget.
Oh, absolutely. So the first song, I immediately, because I've seen a little bit of this specific first song, like not all the way through, but I feel like I've seen a clip of it before. I immediately got, I'm out of time and I got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, they just go 16 minutes, 16. And I was like, oh my God, we're really doing Madonna up in this song.
Yeah. I mean, the sweat on Troy is
real.
He didn't sweat the first 2 movies.
Yeah. So we open immediately with a song.
Yeah, and it's
kind
like
of how we did with What Time Is It?
Yeah, immediately at a basketball game. The Wildcats are getting the shit kicked out of them.
Oh, they are losing.
They're losing by like 30 points.
Coach Bolton is like, get your head in the game,
Coach
sons.
Bolton looks like Creed when he steals all the ink from the printer.
His hair looks ridiculous. I looked at him like, what happened to your hair? He's got like a little bit of like a mullet going
It's like
on.
an emo boy look a little bit.
It's very odd for like a seemingly 40 to 50-year-old man to have that haircut. I'm gonna be honest, it was a bit rough.
And then Gabriella stands up in the crowd.
Troy!
And like parts the Red Sea.
She really does.
And then
I think it's catchy.
It is. I think it's a really
very catchy.
It's a really interesting intro too. Like
I feel like you can definitely see the budget.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate that we got the basketball. Sorry, I get a little lisp there.
Yeah.
Basketball out of the way immediately.
Yeah.
Like we did that to start. Like we give that basketball, like you give them their flowers immediately, and then we're done with it. And I think that kind of worked. I was like, I think that works for the opening because it's like it's what we know. He's, first and foremost a basketball star.
Yeah. And
he's got his silly little song and dance on the side. But that Troy made me laugh when she just screamed Troy and parted the Red Sea. I was like, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, and they make a rousing comeback.
They do.
The new player gets to make the final shot. Rocket Man.
I wanted to say Rocket. Yeah, Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Truly an Elton John fan. I also loved how Ryan was in the mascot uniform.
Yeah.
I was like, look at him branching out.
Which kind of makes sense because he does have a lot of pep and school spirit.
He does. He's got school spirit.
Yeah.
I support that for him.
Yeah. They win the game.
They win.
And then they're like, we're going to throw a party.
We're going to throw a party at our house, but also we're going to make our son push his truck home with his friend.
We stand here and grill.
Yeah. So Troy, and this, I'll bring this truck back up, Hannah. Don't you worry. It's coming back. It'll come back. I have some real heated points to make towards the end of this movie. But he's got an old truck that doesn't run, so him and Chad have to push it back to his house. Right. And he's like, I just got to fix the gas valve. It's got a leaky valve. And they get to the house where, to my surprise, I was like, oh, I see we got a budget because we have music playing in the background.
Yes.
Sure, it's Disney, it's Ally and AJ, and then later Jesse McCartney, but we got some real music that's not them playing in the background. I was like, huh, there's that theatrical budget going on there. So then we find out about Troy's secret treehouse, which Gabriella somehow has never seen.
I was confused because I'm like, they've been dating for
like
over
at least a year. Like a year, yeah. Like seemingly like if they met at New Year's Eve and it's now like, I think at the time, what, like March or something?
Well, it's the end of the basketball season, which in the first movie they like, it takes them the whole movie to get to the end of the basketball season. Yeah, I'm like, how has she never seen his treehouse?
I don't know, it was a bit weird. I was like, what? I was like, I get you want to have a scene for a song, but that was a bit odd to me that they just kind of like introduced.
Yeah.
Here's my treehouse I built with my dad.
Yeah, and then they make this point that like, oh, we're gonna be 1,500 something miles apart from each other because you're going to Stanford and I'm staying here in Albuquerque.
But right here, right now, Troy and Gabriella sing about their future, or actually their present because they're ignoring the future.
Right.
I thought the song was okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weak for like a duet.
It's a little weak. I did kind of think it, like, I was more interested in, like, the treehouse having, like, a retractable sunroof.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool. It's just, like, not, like, I feel like for a duet to lead with is not necessarily the most exciting.
No.
Unfortunately.
It's just okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. It was okay to me. And then I loved how, like, she finds a cape and he's like, that's Chad's.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they've been buds since preschool or kindergarten or whatever.
Yeah. And then we kind of just move on to school. And
I loved how Sharpay got the fabulous backing entrance. Yeah. That made me happy.
I did love that.
This works.
And
the double locker.
Kelsey's like, hey, guess what? I signed all of you bitches up for the last musical.
And they're all complaining. And I'm like, you all were singing throughout.
Well, and also, like,
film.
We're gonna pretend Chad and Troy and Gabriella weren't gonna be in it.
I know, it was weird. They're like, oh, we're all so busy because we're getting ready for school, but also nobody's picked a school except for Gabriella.
Right.
Seemingly.
Yeah. Chad had picked.
And Chad, I think. Yeah. But that was it at the time. But then, so she signs them up. They're like, okay, let's go, show up. And it's revealed that 4 people are in contention for a Juilliard scholarship.
Yeah.
Ryan, Sharpay, Kelsey, and Troy.
Who has never heard of Juilliard.
He's never, which I was like, huh.
Well, I guess that makes sense if you think about it, like a teenage boy who, like, up until last year never knew anything about theater or the arts.
Right. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
He's just like, who submitted me?
He's like, oh, this is a funny joke.
And then he's interested. He's like,
Juilliard.
But also I think it's hilarious that, like, he's getting scouted for Juilliard after performing in one musical.
Right.
I think it's wild in retrospect. But I'm like, I get it. I understand Miss Darbus, like, believes in him. And she's like, I see something in you. And I want you to see that, too.
She wants him to know that he has options and that his path just doesn't have to be one thing.
Right. And I kind of like that we set up that conflict immediately. Yeah. That, like, he's conflicted about what to do with his future.
Right.
And I feel like that's a pretty strong and realistic plot for, like, especially people at that age, like, graduating high school. It's, like, it's very stressful. Because you're, like, you're trying to figure out what to do. And, like, college is a lot. And, like, you know, depending on if you're getting some of it paid for or if you have to take out loans or, like, where you're going out, you know, like, there's a lot of things to consider that I think is a lot to put on, like, an 18-year-old, you know, especially someone, you know, if you've never, like, lived outside your house or really been anywhere independently, like, and also you're just making a decision about how your life is going to go, and it's a lot for someone that age. So I feel like they kind of set a good, like, I liked the plot of this movie, like the Troy plot. I thought worked really well.
Yeah, and also, like, to factor into, like, being that far apart from someone he's dated that they've never been apart, you know, like, they've never had to deal with that long distance, and like, what does that look like? Yeah. I find the plot, his plot specifically, like, very realistic to what I'm sure a lot of kids that age dealt with. And, like, even at my age, I'm still like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do.
I know. Oh, yeah, me either. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do.
You know.
My life.
Yeah, I do like the realism of that.
Yeah. cut and we go into Sharpay and Ryan.
Yeah.
And they're talking about their future.
Yeah. And they want it all.
They want it all. So this song I have heard before.
Yeah.
I don't know where I've heard it, but, like, I recognized some of it where I was like, I feel like I've heard this before. I feel like there were a lot of references that probably went over my head. I feel like there was a Barbara Streisand reference. There's definitely some old Hollywood.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. This is a little bit later, but they do I remember I looked it up because I was curious. It was Goldie Hawn something where she, like, falls into the stairs and then does this, and then Sabrina Carpenter did it at the Grammys, and they also do it in this movie, and I was like, it's a little bit of, like, a weird, like, play on that. But I thought it was a really fun, over-the-top, very fitting for them number.
Yeah, it's
choreographed, very fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
It's very, like, visually driven, which I think is cool. There's a lot of, like, these mini scenes of different characters coming in and, like, adding to it. But yeah, it's like a fun song, and it reminds me a bit of, like, they do a bit of the stick to the status quo choreo, like the cafeteria scene.
Yeah, right.
Which this movie I found a lot. They do a lot of, like, callbacks, or, like,
they do, yeah.
Some like you said, they had Fabulous playing for Sharpay. Like, they do a lot of that, which is, like, I like that for, like, the fans of the movie, because it's something they'll enjoy.
I think it's fun.
But yeah, I find this song to be, like, pretty interesting, catchy, enjoyable overall.
Yeah. But then prom's coming up.
Yeah.
So Troy's like, Gabriella, meet me on the roof.
Yes.
And I gotta say, he does like this, like, I'm gonna flick my tickets. Like, look, I got 2. And I'm like, this is not as cool as you think it is. Like, you being like,
you're
there's
just
2 of
showing
them
pieces
here.
of paper.
And I'm like, Troy, like, you're better than that.
Yeah.
You're smoother than that. But basically he's like, hey, will you go to the prom with me? And can I have this dance?
Yeah, this song, this sequence is so goddamn charming.
I was, like, locked in.
Yeah.
Because, the last duet, Right Here, Right Now, I kind of drifted a little bit. Because I was like, it's fine. And then this one came in, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was into it. Like, I really like the rooftop plant setting.
Yes.
I like the kind of waltz choreography. It's simple, but it really works for this song. Like, they have the chemistry really. I was surprised at how much I liked this song, to be honest.
And a lot of the songs in this movie, they do, like, reprisals later on. Like, a little mini. And they do more of this one where he drives to Stanford, and they do, like, a little dance together, and it's kind of the same feel. But I love this song. I went on Spotify. This song was hearted on the High School Musical 3 playlist.
Was it?
So I must have really liked it when I saw
You must have
liked
it.
Because I clicked on it.
Yeah.
It's just really wholesome. It's really, like you said, it's engaging, and there's not a lot to it. But it's just something about it is...
Yeah. I really liked this one.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
I give that one a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Then we get some light hazing.
Yeah.
Which I was like, all right, well, it just kept going on forever.
Yeah.
They stole some kids' clothes, and they were like, hey,
and
you want our
also,
lockers?
The Miss Darbus didn't really seem to care that they were hazing them. She's just like, now you're here,
everyone,
and you can be a part of this.
Now you gotta be part of the drama club.
The only person
Joke's
who actually
on
said
you.
anything was Coach Bolton, and he just, like, yelled at them. He's like, boys, what the
Boys,
heck are you two doing in the hallway?
What are you doing? What are you doing with those kids'
What the heck are you two doing naked in the hallway?
Yeah, it just felt like it went on forever. But anyway, Chad is wearing a shirt that says Greenster.
Yeah.
And he has a little, like, the recycling arrows with a little smiley face in it. And I was like, oh, look, a little Chad shirt in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to see Chad in a Jersey-style tux.
We do.
He's got like a number on the back of his tuxedo because it's prom fit. Everyone's getting their fits on for prom.
Yeah.
And they do A Night to Remember.
A Night to Remember, which is an ensemble number for their musical about their prom.
Yes.
Which is a lot to like get to.
You have to really understand
what's happening,
yes.
And it took me a little bit to get it because I was like, wait, we're already at prom, and then I was like, oh, I see. This is them practicing the musical number for their musical version of their prom.
Right.
And once I got that, I was like, okay, I get it. I thought there was like some comedy in it that worked, but it wasn't a favorite of mine.
It's pretty like There's nothing special about it.
Yeah, it was like there's a lot going on, but also not a lot going on. If that makes sense.
It's fun, I guess. Like the choreo of like all them dancing at prom, but again, it's just very like. There's nothing that special about it. I didn't remember this song from the first time I watched this.
Yeah. And then also, can we just say that like hair is so bad. Like, the Rocket Man has that hair. A couple of the guys have that just, like, mop.
Really swoopy.
Justin Bieber haircut.
Like, Joe Jonas had it.
Oh, it's so bad. It's just awful. Ew. I wrote ew, and then I wrote Ryan came on the moped, and that was a real highlight for me. I was like, I love that for him. And then I also made the comment that said he's closeted for sure.
Yeah. You know?
In this, at least.
I'll talk more about this later.
Okay.
But I love Ryan's story arc.
I do too.
Throughout the 3 movies.
He really came into him, like, he really came into himself. Like, I didn't want to phrase that and, like, he came out, but no, he really came into his own. Like, he found himself.
Yeah, he starts as, like, the sidekick brother who's, like, standing behind his sister's, like, star and, like, her presence. And I think in the end, he really, like, figures out who he is and hones in on his talents. Yeah, and I really like his whole arc he gets throughout these movies. I do too.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But as we say, with him, he has choreographed another number for the musical.
Yeah.
That they performed called Just Wanna Be With You.
Yeah, another Troy and Gabriella number.
With a little bit of ensemble.
Yeah.
Because Ryan and Kelsey start it.
Right.
Also because Sharpay's like, take Kelsey, get that song from Kelsey.
Right,
She always gives Troy and Gabriella the best number. Steal that number, even though it doesn't make sense.
Also, no one's going to notice you stole the number.
I don't know. Again, we're another point where, like, Sharpay wants to be with Troy, and I'm like, didn't we already do this 2 times?
Yeah.
I'll bring it up now. She has a British assistant, so a British transfer girl comes in to be her assistant, and I'm like, couldn't that have been her conflict? It was like, this is her competition, is like,
right.
A new exchange student is like her, like, competition for, you know, and I feel like that would have made a more interesting dynamic for her instead of just doing the same story, because I feel like Sharpay was the most shorted character in this movie.
Yeah.
She got the most, like, she got shafted.
Yeah,
I mean, barely anything
her,
to do.
Audition for Juilliard essentially got, like, sabotaged.
Yeah.
So.
And she really only gets one number, really, if you think about it. That's, like, specific to her. Yeah. And then her whole plot, again, is trying to steal Troy and Gabriella's number so she can sing with... and it's like, why couldn't they have written her something better? I'm like, they could have done better. So anyway, that's my, like, hot take, is that I feel like Sharpay did not get... She got done dirty in this movie.
Yeah. I will say, this is one of the only songs I remembered from when I first watched the movie.
Okay.
As soon as, like, the chorus started, I was like, oh, I remember this song.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
I thought it was fun.
It's fun.
It was fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's them practicing for the musical.
The musical. Yeah, and I think it's a fun, like, number. Like, I think they set it up. I think it's, like, kind of playful. Like, they, like, show, like, Ryan working with them on choreography and stuff. It's kind of like a group.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of group dynamic is nice. But then, Chad's wearing a dragon t-shirt.
Yeah. Shit's about
and Troy's wearing a bandana.
Yeah.
He's really pulling a Toby Do-Rag PLL vibe.
And they roll up to the junkyard.
And because the boys are back.
They meet the Human Hulk. They meet a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
This man's got... I can't remember what this quote is from, but he's got thighs like a tree trunk.
Yeah, truly. It's built.
He's built. And they roll up like they own that place.
Like, they've been hanging out there since they were small children. They're real, it gives real It Takes Two butt kiss family vibes. Like, where they're just children in the junkyard.
Coach Bolton took them there to go drink with the boys and just let the kids run wild.
Have a couple beers and let the kids run through the scrapyard and play pretend.
Yeah, we get The Boys Are Back.
The Boys Are Back. This is... When this song started, I laughed because I was like, what is happening? Like... I think it's great that Troy and Chad get a number. Yeah. I think that's really fun. But I was like, I don't really understand why this song is happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get there, like, is some strain in their friendship because they're supposed to both go to U of A
together,
and play basketball together because they're best friends. And Troy is, like, apprehensive and he's, like, not sure what he wants to do. So it's them being like, oh, we're best friends.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the lyrics are really weird. And then we get, like, childhood versions of them. And it gives, again, very Footloose, like, smoking and drinking in the scrapyard type deal. I thought some of the choreography was really fun.
The tire.
Like, when they're in the lit up windows and the tire.
The tire
and, like,
thing was super
I
cool.
liked their dance number, but the song itself was really silly.
It is
like,
weird.
It was really silly.
It's weird.
But I was entertained. I will say that. I was entertained. I was laughing.
No, definitely. And I that's the scene that I most remember.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not surprised.
I had a vivid memory of, like, and when I watched this, I was like, I don't remember if this was a fever dream or if this happened. And then when it started, I was like, that happened.
And you're like, that happened?
Yeah, it happened.
No, so I was very entertained.
Yeah.
I think, but it was definitely silly.
Yeah.
So then we kind of pretty much just, like, go right into another number.
Well, we find out that Gabriella has been accepted into a, like, freshman honors program, which I didn't understand.
Okay. Here's the thing. If they were going to do a freshman honors program, it'd be over the summer.
Right. You wouldn't cut into the last couple weeks of their senior year.
Our cousin did that, where she went to college during the summer and started, like, school, did, like, a program before she started school for freshman year. And that's what you would do. They wouldn't take you out of high school for your last, 2 to 3 weeks of high school to have you start for the end of their spring semester to do, like, some type of freshman course and make you miss your own graduation.
Right, and her mom sells the house and pieces out.
It was very weird. Like that setup is the thing I don't really get.
Yeah.
And I guess they had to have a way to make it make sense.
Yeah.
For her to be gone, to, like, get this all in motion. But I'm like, we could have framed this differently.
Yeah.
But then they're both feeling confused, right? So they get up on their balcony and start singing a reprise to Right Here, Right Now. Which I think the reprise worked better than the initial song.
Okay.
And the reason I think that works better is because now that we have the context of, like, what's going on in terms of, like, potentially things breaking them apart, it's both of them struggling with that and, like, wanting to be connected, like, now. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Like, it fits better here than in the initial song.
Yeah, I just had the sudden realization that we might end up with a different number of songs.
Oh, did you not count the reprises?
Because There's 2 of them. That one was so short that I was like, okay, I'm just going to count as part of that.
I counted it because it was on the soundtrack list. Like, I looked at the official soundtrack list and just followed with everything they had on there.
Okay. Well, we're going to see how this turns out. But anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we get that, and then we get another Gabriella solo.
We do. Because Troy's like, you got to go to this program you didn't tell me about, but you got to go. We're going to have pizza and
I'm going to sneak up to your balcony again.
And then you're going to go.
But you know what? She just walks away. Just walks away.
And I got to say, although it does kind of sound like TLC's Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, like the backing is a little bit like... It's just not it.
It's boring.
It's boring. And she doesn't get, like, no choreography.
No.
We just have her room, she's just in her room and it's
things
just
are disappearing.
And then she gets in a van and drives away. And I'm like, why do they hate giving Gabriella fun
numbers,
they
always give
other
her
than
the
Gotta Go My
numbers.
Way? That's the only number, like, she gets that I actually think works
but
for her.
But it's like, the solo numbers she gets are always the most boring thing in the world.
Oh my God. I'm like, give her, like, you can do sad better. Yeah. Like, is the problem they didn't think she could, like, belt, so they just didn't want to give her, like, big numbers? Like,
but you can give her numbers that are more upbeat without having to be these big numbers.
It's just, like, boring. I don't know. I kind of zoned out a little bit because I was, like, so not into it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Troy comes in and he's feeling depressed and sad.
He's gonna break
and
into
he's
the
gonna
school.
again footloose it in the storm in the nighttime and go to the school and scream.
Yeah.
At the school. And I gotta say, there was some really good choreography and, like, set design and direction.
The hallway, like, rotating.
So it was very, remember in Inception?
Yeah.
When they had that, like, rotating, like, piece? I think they used the same type of thing for this to make that work. Well, and I've seen music
videos like that, too. Like,
where they had, the rotating floor. But the 2008 CGI basketballs in the very beginning were a bit, like, noticeable. But again, it's, 25 years ago. Oh, God. No, that's not right.
20.
No. Not even 20.
No.
It's 18, 17.
Yeah.
17 years ago. Not that it makes it any better.
No.
But the CGI was a little rough, but I thought it worked well for a Troy song. Like, him running around the school, feeling sad. It gave me, like, strong Footloose vibes.
Yeah.
When he's smoking and drinking.
It's sort of his, like, breaking point of all these emotions, all these things. I really, really like... He ends in the auditorium, like
on stage.
And I really like the scene with him and Miss Darbus.
Me too. I thought that was a really nice scene
she's
for them
sitting
to have.
there, and she's like, she basically is like, I was the one who submitted this application for you to Juilliard, and like, she just is like, I just want you to know that, like, you don't have to do this one thing, like, you have possibilities. She's like, I didn't want you to look back in 10, 20 years and like wonder. And
not know your options.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. I think it's a cool example of what I think is very realistic of, like, teachers believing in students even when they don't necessarily believe in themselves.
Right. I mean, less realistic that they're both there in the middle of the night,
right.
you know. But for movie sake, you know, it makes sense, and I think it is nice to have that kind of, like, because, again, like, his dad is his coach, so it's like he can't go to his coach and be like, hey, because it's also his dad, so that makes that hard to, like, have that separation.
Yeah,
right?
And he tries to talk to his dad about, because his dad finds a Juilliard packet.
Right.
And he's like, but this is our, like, Chad would be disappointed if you didn't. And I feel like no one is really... No one's really encouraging him.
No one's asking him what he wants.
Like, I think Gabriella's supportive of whatever he does, but she's also been gone. And his dad and Chad, obviously, they all want him to go to this school. And this is the first adult who's like, I know it's, like, hard, but, like, what... Because she notices it when he is, like, given the brochure, the Juilliard brochure. Like, he has that kind of hesitation of, like, oh, maybe I have other possibilities. Yeah. So I just think it's cool. Then we get hit
with I think this actually happened before, where Gabriella tells him she's not coming back because she's supposed to come back for graduation and prom, and she says, actually, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I would miss you too much. And I'm like, first of all, you're just literally not going to attend your graduation from high school.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, you're just not going to come. And secondly, this is where she should have gotten her song, is here.
Right.
Like, have her go, you know, because she's going to come back. And then when she says, I'm not coming back, then that's when you give her her song. Yeah. Because then they're like, she's breaking up with him, right? Like,
yeah,
anyway.
It's a weird point and thing to do.
Then, you know what Troy decides, Hannah?
Yeah.
He says, you know what I have is a really... by all accounts, everything we've seen, a shitty beater of a truck that barely runs. You know what I should do?
Drive
15 hours to Stanford to pick up my girlfriend.
Yeah.
15. I looked it up on Google Maps because I was like, how far away is that? Yeah. 15 hours. 30 hours round trip. He's doing 30 hours in that truck that barely runs.
But remember, the boys were back and he got that new valve pipe. So
he got that gas valve and it's working. I like, that was the most ridiculous plot point to a story that I'm like, why did you even give, like, I get you wanted to have a junkyard scene, but like, give him a new car. Like, his dad's like, hey, I got you this car for going to U of A, like, here's this, you know, something like that. Like, that would make sense.
Right.
But have him fly there. Like, why didn't he just fly there? It would have been cheaper to fly there.
I know.
Than to drive. Anyway, that threw me off. I refuse to believe that. But anyway, he shows up because Gabrielle's like, I'm not coming back for prom, bitch. And he's like, I already got the tux and the Converse.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show up and we're going to dance on Stanford's campus.
Yeah.
In front of all your classmates.
But god damn it if it isn't charming again.
It is. Yeah. Another Can I Have This Dance reprise, and it works. It's short.
I do like how they then, like, they're at their actual prom. Mm-hmm. And it's like him and Chad switch Taylor and Gabriella and, like, dance. And then it kind of fades back and it's like, no, they're really, like, on their own, but it gives the feel that they get to be there.
Yeah. Right. I thought that was nice. Yeah. I really liked that.
I like that. It's cool.
But it's time for the spring musical, the senior year spring musical, and Troy texts someone, the stagehand. I don't remember.
No, he texts the Rocket Man dude.
He texts Rocket Man and he says, "Hey, we might be back by half.
Yeah, I need you to
because
step in.
We're driving. Yeah, we had to drive like 18 hours, so I need you to play me.
Yeah,
which, sure, I guess. But then we get a 7 to 8 minute song.
Yeah,
that is essentially snippets of pretty much most of the songs that we've heard before.
Yes.
And I feel like it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird in terms of ranking, because it's like...
It's just a combination of all the songs.
Heard,
yeah.
But slightly different. Like, we get a little bit extra flair from Ryan and Kelsey in the beginning.
Right.
And then, because Rocket Man is playing Troy, we get this weird, silly version of the song that Sharpay is filling in for Gabriella of. Yeah. So it's like a weird... He's like...
It's like everyone rotates singing different songs than they did before.
Right. And, like, Ryan is singing I Want It All Alone.
Just by
like,
himself.
It's just him.
Yeah.
But then they get back, and they get to sing part of their song.
Yeah.
And Sharpay fights against her assistant for her own role.
Right.
In a weird... Like, again, that would have made more sense if they were rivals.
Yeah. It's hard to rank. I understand why they did it the way they did it.
I do, too. I kind of like that first song, the, like, right... Yeah. Was it Right Here, Right Now?
Right Here, Right Now.
Right Now. Now or Never.
Now or Never, yes.
They give, like, a snippet of that as if, like, that was written for the musical and, like, was the opening song. So I kind of liked that. Yeah.
I just find the next couple minutes to be absolutely fucking chaotic because...
yeah. It's a lot of chaos.
What Juilliard reps would go to a show, watch the show, and within that show make a decision on scholarships without, like, having a conversation.
Yeah.
And then have it so they could award the scholarships...
At the end of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And also have someone make their decision on a stage.
Yeah. You know, right before they graduate. Like, again, this is implied to be, like, 2 days before they graduate
Yeah,
or something.
it's very soon.
But we learn that the scholarship is going to Ryan and Kelsey.
Yeah, which I do like the fact that Sharpay is who you'd expect to get it, doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And that she actually is okay with it.
Yeah.
Because you see when Ryan gets it, she just smiles. And then it's like she's going to University of Albuquerque for theater or whatever.
And she's also going to help run the drama department in high school, which I'm like, yikes.
We get in the background, like, we're all in this together, like a... Together. Like a very, like, soft...
It's called We're All in This Together graduation mix. Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, it's nice.
I really liked it. I thought it was a nice, like, callback to the first one.
Yeah.
And it's, like, kind of like a gospel-y version of it. It was fits. On the... I wasn't sure if that counted, but it was on the official list. Yeah, I counted it because it was on the list, so I did count it. But what we learn is Troy has made a decision, and he's not going to U of A or Juilliard. No. He's going to Cal State.
University of Cal Berkeley.
Cal Berkeley, yeah. Where he can both play basketball and do drama.
And it's only 32-point-something miles from his...
Right. And Chad is pissed, so they have a little bromance
Chad
moment.
leaves the stage.
Yeah, because he's upset.
You know, to be fair to Chad, maybe you could have told him before you announced it.
Yeah, you know, maybe he could have said anything. Right. He never even gave Chad, like, the opinion that he wasn't going there.
He gave his dad that, but not Chad.
Yes, but not Chad. Yeah. So I guess, I mean, rightfully, I understand that. Yeah. But they work it out in, like, 2 minutes flat, and then he gets back on stage, and then we go to graduation.
Yeah, and he gives the speech.
Gives a speech. Chad has a shirt that says "See ya" on it.
Appropriate.
See ya never. And we get our last song called High School Musical.
Yeah.
Which is a number where everyone gets to sing about their high school musical.
Yeah, I find the song to be very, like, campy and, like, very, like...
It is.
It's a little too, like...
on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely... I think it's definitely... I want to say it's the weakest of the 3 ending songs.
I would probably agree with that.
Which is kind of... It's the song that ends the series. It's like, I wish it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, you know, I understand. It's like, we're just going to sing about the High School Musical that this whole franchise is based off. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was an end credit song, but it was sung by someone who won a contest for High School Musical, so I did not include it. But I was like, I get it, but also it's a bit weird.
So how many songs did you end with?
So I have 14.
Okay, I have 12.
So do you want to just throw in those 2 reprises where you think they would go? Or if you think they go at the end?
Remind me what the 2 reprises I missed.
So it's Can I Have This Dance reprise. That's like the prom one.
Yes, okay.
And then the Right Here, Right Now when they're like singing just on the balcony.
Short one, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
both the reprises of the songs. Yeah.
Let me do that really quick. Okay, I think I'm good. I can go first since you went first in the last one.
Sounds good.
Number 14, I went with High School Musical.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't really like the song. And I just think because it was the final song of the series, it disappointed me that it wasn't better.
That's fair. Yeah. So number 14, I have Senior Year Spring Musical because I found it really hard to rank a song that's a mix of all the songs on the list. So I just put it at last because that made the most sense to me.
Yeah. Number 13, I went with Walk Away. I just find the song really boring. I think that it's just kind of like, you're right, it's a weird placement. They could have had her have her number later on when she had left. And I just find it to be a pretty boring, forgettable number.
I would agree. Number 13, I also had Walk Away. Same thing, like, Gabriella really doesn't get, like, good solo sad girl numbers the same way Troy gets the sad boy numbers. Right. So, sad girl discrimination.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 12. Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, it's my turn. Number 12, I went with Senior Year Spring Musical. Again, same as you, it's really hard to rank it because it's just a collection of all the songs we've heard.
Yeah. Number 12, I have A Night to Remember, the, like, prom song. I just, like, couldn't get into it. It just, like, didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Number 11, I have the Right Here, Right Now reprisal. I don't know. It just was a very short scene. I think I just kind of feel like it's such, like, a quick scene that it's hard for me to rank it compared to, like, a full-length song.
It's funny you say that because my number 11 is Right Here, Right Now, the full song.
Interesting.
I just, like, for a second, like, opening number, just, like, I just don't think it worked. Yeah. It just didn't work for me. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, fair. Number, why did I forget what number we are on?
Should be 10.
10 is A Night to Remember. For a song called A Night to Remember, it's not memorable at all. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of boring. It's okay, but nothing special.
Number 10, I have the Right Here, Right Now reprise. Because I think it's better. I think it works better than the original song, but because it's like a short reprise, I didn't want to put it too high.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 9, I have Right Here, Right Now, just the original one. Again, it's one of the weaker Troy Gabriella duets of the whole series.
Yeah.
And
I think it might be the weakest of
and it's just honestly. Really nothing special about it.
All right, number 9, I have the Can I Have This Dance reprise. And kind of for the same reason where it's like a shorter number. Right. And it's nice, but it is like relatively short. So, number 9.
Yeah, number 8, I have the Can I Have This Dance reprise. I find it really charming. Again, though, it's hard to compare it to a, like, full-length song. Yeah.
Number 8, I have High School Musical. I think the number, I think I agree that it's, like, kind of campy and, like on the nose and silly, but I thought it was, like, fun. I definitely agree, though, that it's the weakest of the 3, like, last songs filmed, or, like, last songs of the film. I think it's the weakest.
Number 7, I have the We're All in This Together, the graduation version. Mm-hmm. I really like it. I think it's a cool use of the song. I think it's a cool way to do it in a completely different way. But I do find that, like, because it's kind of just playing in the background, it doesn't really have as much impact as some of the other ones, I think.
That's fair. So number 7, I have The Boys Are Back. I thought this was a very entertaining, fun song, but it was so silly that I, like, couldn't, and, like, I didn't feel like it fit super well. But I really liked the fact that they gave them a number and, like, made a fun, like, choreography and, like, use of a surrounding with it.
Yeah. Number 6, I did Just Wanna Be With You. I think it's a fun song. I think that it is memorable because I think it was one of the only songs I'd remembered from when I first watched it, and this was a really long time ago. I just think that there are stronger songs, and, like, I don't think anything's really special about, like, the choreography with that one.
Number 6, I have We're All in This Together graduation mix. And yeah, I really liked this version of this song, but it is a little, I wish it wasn't as in the background as it is and was, like, a little more forefront. And I think it could have been, like, a top 3 for sure.
Yeah. Number 5, I have Scream. I think it's a really fun number. I think Troy does the sad boy moments very well. I think that the choreography is really cool. The scene in the hallway where, like, the whole thing's spinning is really cool. And it's just, like, it's like the bet on it of this movie. Yeah. Just angsty.
Number 5, I also have Scream. I think this is a better done bet on it. Like, it's angsty and it's, like, a good Troy number. And I think the choreography and, like, the, like, cinematography and stuff are really fun and, like, work really well for this number. Yeah. It's, like, a good Troy moment.
Yeah. Number 4, I love The Boys Are Back. I know the song's not good, but the choreography is so much fun. The tire scenes, like, live in my head. I swear sometimes I just think about the tire scene.
The tires.
And I think it's really cool to see Chad and Troy get, like, this solo duet. Just, I mean, there's, like, some dancers and stuff like that, but...
Right.
I feel like the series franchise, a lot of it focuses on their friendship. And I think it's cool to see them get this number where it's like, oh, yeah, they've been friends since they were kids. Yeah. And, it's just cool to see.
Number 4, I have Just Wanna Be With You. I think this is a really fun, like, simple, kind of a simpler song. Like, there's not, like, a lot going on, but I think it's like, a fun one. It kind of reminds me of, like, You Were the Music and Me, but, like, a little bit different. So I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, 3, I have Now or Never. I think it's a really strong opening number. I think the reason I put it so high up is because it's so apparent how much more of a budget they had, especially in that song. Like, it's just, like, it's insane how much of a budget they had. I like that it's, like, intertwined with this basketball game. It's very dramatic, high stakes, and it's just, I think it's a cool song.
Yeah. Number 3, I have I Want It All. I really enjoyed this number. Yeah. I feel like it gives over dramatic, over the top, perfect for, like, I think, like, Sharpay and Ryan work well off each other in this song, because at this point Ryan's kind of like, oh, am I your number 2? Right. Like, you know, he's leaning away from that as he would more lean into it in, like, the earlier tracks. And I think that's a good, like, fun dynamic for this song. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I Want It All as number 2. I really enjoy it. I enjoy all the sequences of it. The part where Sharpay and Ryan are on the plane and Kelsey's the flight attendant. I, like, vividly remember that. Yeah, it's a fun song. It's very, like, true to what the franchise is. And it's fun.
Yeah. You know what I just realized is Taylor never got a single, like, song.
No.
That was, like, her.
And I guess I understand because she was never, like... Well, she was always a side character.
Chad got, like, 2 songs.
Yeah, she never really got, like, even, like, a duet or, like, a...
Right. She got, like, pieces in songs.
I kind of wish her and Chad would have gotten a duet.
Yeah. Would have been nice.
Because they have been a couple throughout the 3 movies. And yeah, whatever.
But anyway, Now or Never is my number 2. Just like Chad and Taylor are Now or Never. Yeah. Because I've never seen this movie before, because I didn't know what to expect going in, I was like, I don't really know what to expect, but I feel like I just got, like, I was like, whoa, like, you could see the budget increase to 3, and I thought it was, like, a really well done opening number. Like, I feel like that's where a lot of their budget went, honestly, was to this specific number. Yeah. I feel like it was nice. Like, I really liked it. I thought it was a really solid start.
Yeah. Number 1, Can I Have This Dance? Like, it's such a simple song, and it's such a simple choreography. It's just something about it is so, like, charming and so it's like what is it? It's like innocence to watch. Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like this young, like, love, romance, and just it, like, in its purest form. And I'm not much of a romantic, but I was like, I literally just, like, sat there and I was, like, drawn to
I was really captivated.
Yeah, you just, like, stare at the screen.
Surprisingly, like, I don't know how I think it was, like, a combination of the setting and the type of music and just, like, the kind of, like, simple dance choreography and, like, the way the camera kind of followed them. Like, it just really worked really well. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah, number 1. I was, like, when I was, because I think this is the third or fourth song. It's the 4th song in the movie. Like, I was, like, first one I thought was good. Second one was the third one, I Want It All, I was like, oh, this is great. And then this one came out and I was like, oh, like, I, like, did not look away. Like, I don't think I blinked. I did blink, but I was very captivated and surprised that I liked it as much as I did. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Solid. We mentioned we had some fun little extra.
Yeah. We got a few little side things to rank. What do we want to start with?
I kind of think it makes sense to just go into, we're going to do our top 5, bottom 3 songs of the collective, of the series as a whole.
Of the songs as a whole.
Yeah, we weren't going to sit there and rank all of the songs.
No. Because we were like, that would take way too long. We'd rather just do it within the movies and then do like a little like top and bottom.
Yeah, so let's start with worst.
Okay.
What is your number 3 worst song?
My number 3 is A Night to Remember.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did I? No. Yeah, A Night to Remember. I thought that it wasn't my lowest song of that movie, but I just, like, in the scheme of things, just did not enjoy the song. So it was number 3.
Yeah, I did number 3 as When There Was Me and You. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear that song and see it in the movie, I cannot get over the fact that it's, like, 2 voices. Yeah. And it just sounds so weird. It's a really boring sequence. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny you say that. My number 2 is When There Was Me and You. I just think of Gabriella's songs, because I think Walk Away also is not great, but When There Was Me and You is worse by far. Yeah. Like, it's boring. It's so unengaging. Again, the mixed vocals is odd. Mm-hmm. It's funny, though, because we'll get to it later. I have one more comment about that song. Okay. But it's my number 2.
Okay, number 1 is Huma Nuka Waba blah blah blah.
I think for known reasons that we've already covered.
I don't need to explain.
It was already going to be the number 1 decided ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay, top 5.
Great. Top 5.
Top 5, which is hard.
All right.
Yeah, this was hard.
This one was hard for me. And I actually had 2 for number 5, so I'm trying to decide which one I want to pick. Because I had like a bit of trying to figure it out. Yeah. I think for number 5, I'm going to pick... What time is it? Okay. I'm going on it. I was trading between that and Now or Never for like an opening song. And I really think What Time Is It is so ingrained in my head. Like, it's so like, when I think of, I told you, like when I think of that movie, that's the song I think of, that scene. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I feel like that encompasses High School Musical, like an opening for me. Okay. So I'm going to go with that one.
Similar reason for number 5, I did We're All in This Together. It's kind of like that perfect wrap-up of a movie. In my opinion, it was the best ending number. I really like it as like a group number. And I just think when I think of the series, that's definitely one of the songs that comes to my mind.
I have We're All in This Together as my number 4 song. Yeah. I agree. I think it is a very... Like, when you think of, like, the impact of, like, the sing-alongs and the dance, like, learning the dances and stuff, I feel like this is the song that I think of for that specific aspect of these movies. Yeah. And I think it has a really, like... The fact that they remixed it for the last movie, like, as its own, like, graduation version, I think says a lot. So. Yeah. I wanted it to be on this list.
This might be controversial. Number 4 is Fabulous.
No, I think that's not.
You know, I just really like this song, and this song is one of the songs that I most associate with this franchise.
That's very fair.
I think this is one of... Because you mentioned Sharpay in the last movie doesn't really get any numbers. No. And I think this is the number that, like, to me is just, like, this is Sharpay. Yeah. It's really fun. Colors, choreo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just really enjoy that song.
Yeah. One of my coworkers sang that at karaoke a couple months ago and forgot it was a 2-person song, so then had to sing both the Sharpay and Ryan parts at the same time. And it was very entertaining, I gotta say. Yeah. Entertaining song. Yeah. Number 3, I have You Are the Music in Me. Mm-hmm. Just because I think that song for High School Musical 2 is, like, the song for me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, like, it's an ensemble, so it's a Troy and Gabriella song, but it also becomes, like, an everyone song. And I just think that song works really well. That's, like, a personal pick for me, is that one.
Number 3, Can I Have This Dance? I just really, really like the song. I like the reprisal. I like the whole sequence. I mean, I just talked about it. But, yeah, it just... I think in terms of... and actually, this was the only song I had from the 3rd movie on my list. Okay. In my top 5. But I just think, like, it deserves a place in that.
Yeah. Number 2 is Can I Have This Dance? Now or Never almost made the list, but this is, like, probably my takeaway is, like, the song from this movie. Like, it is weird, which is weird for, like, a High School Musical movie. Like, this is the song that I'm, like, this is the best song of the movie. But it's just done very well. And even, like, I listened to the soundtrack in my car over like the past 2 days to kind of like figure out what songs, just so I could hear them outside context, like to hear them a second time. And I kept like, I listened to the whole song. Like some I kind of like listened a bit and then skip through. This one I like listened all the way through every time.
No, the recording's good too.
Yeah.
Number 2, Gotta Go My Own Way.
Yeah.
I love this song.
It's a personal pick.
Yeah, definitely. I think the number 1 song is pretty obvious. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Surprise.
Gotta Go My Own Way is just like me as a teenager who had never experienced love. I just felt that heartbreak.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. Number 1, Breaking Free. Breaking Free. I mean, I feel like if you were to ask someone to sing a song from High School Musical, it would be Breaking Free. Yeah. This is the one that I hear. Like, again, I've said I've heard this
heard it out
like
too.
at bars. Yep. I've heard it out in public. I put this on playlist. I think if like it's the song from the franchise that I think is the most like memorable and like the best song. Yeah. So Breaking Free.
Yeah, Breaking Free. Yeah.
Right. The last thing for songs is I asked Hannah if, since we played so much High School Musical Sing It, if we could share what our favorite song to sing from a High School Musical was.
Yeah.
And I have a controversial pick, but my favorite song to sing from High School Musical Sing It was When There Was Me and You, because it was the only song I could hit every note on.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was the only song we could get, like, an S or whatever the top rank was. Because, like, Stick to the Status Quo was such a hard song to sing. Some of them were very... Get Your Head in the Game was a hard one. But this song, we could ace it. Like, we had it down. So it was easiest to sing for the points.
Yeah. I would have to go with Breaking Free. I just think, like, I love that part when it's like, sorry, and, like, you just get into it. But yeah, I mean...
It's a solid choice.
That game was iconic.
It was. Yeah. All right. Do you want to do characters and then movies, or movies?
Yeah,
and
I think characters next. We're gonna rank our top 3 characters of the franchise.
Top 3 characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Gabriella.
Okay. I
think she's very mature in a lot of her interactions with Troy, especially in like High School Musical 2, where I feel like she's very level-headed. For like a high school romance, I feel like she has her priorities in order. I really love that she does not end up staying in Albuquerque because she's considering it, because she's like doesn't want to leave Troy. But I really appreciate they didn't make her like give up her dreams to go be with him. It was more like he can't live without her, so he's like, I'm going to decide to go to this school. I also like they didn't go to the same school. Yeah. I thought that was nice too, that there is some, they are pursuing their own dreams together, right? Like in a similar place. So I really think she is like a well done character. Yeah. I really appreciate the story cycle they give her.
Yeah.
I will say.
Number 3 I went with Ryan. I kind of mentioned it earlier. I just think he has a really interesting story arc. I love that he gets one of the Juilliard scholarships. I think he starts to kind of come into his own sort of in the second movie when he's kind of away from Sharpay. And I think in the third movie, he just gets this chance to like be his own person and not be part of like the duo of them. And I think he's, cool character. Got to support fellow gays. We both were closeted at the same time and didn't know it. Yeah, and
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I believe that he didn't know it.
No, but I mean, like in the movie, blah blah blah. Well, they just didn't.
But anyway.
Share it. But yeah, I think he's got one of the more interesting story arcs.
Yeah, Ryan is my number 2 character. Yeah. I really enjoy him as a character. I really like a lot of his songs. Like, I feel like he always gets a fun song to do. Yeah. I feel like I think he has like almost the most character growth throughout the entire franchise. Weirdly, like, as like a side character, I feel like you see a lot of change in him, and I appreciate that like also reflects in the songs as well as like in the story. Yeah. So, yeah.
Number 2, I went with Gabriella. I like that she doesn't like she doesn't like play the bullshit of like the teen drama. And she kind of just does what she wants, and I think what you were saying is interesting, because I think a lot of times it's like the woman in the relationship is made to have to make the sacrifice and like, oh, I'll stay so like we can be together. Like, I like that Troy was the one who was like, I'm gonna move closer to you and like, still be able to pursue my dreams. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously, like, very intelligent. In the second movie, I really like her. I think she's very mature in how she handles the whole Troy situation, like you said.
Yeah.
And, yeah, even though she didn't get, like, necessarily the strongest songs, I think her and Troy together is, like, just a very, like, wholesome relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Number 1, I have Troy. I mean, he is, like, the lead of all the films. And I think I really appreciate, like, especially in the first movie, is they make him out to be, like, a jock, you know, like a popular guy, but he's not, like, mean. Mm-hmm. He's not, like, dismissive of people. He's just, like, a nice guy. And I really liked that scene in the last movie when he's like, without this, I wouldn't have made as many friends as I did, like, that I didn't know I would have had. And I just think that he's a very, like, I appreciate his struggles. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like they're very realistic, for a high school student. And I just, like, enjoy him as a character, so.
Yeah, I put him as number 1. I agree, like, he is made out to be this jock, but he's not mean. He's also not, like, I like that he doesn't fall into, like, the, like, oh, he's a dumb jock stereotype, or, like,
right.
You know, I think his arc is really important and interesting. I think that him, in the end, deciding to do the thing that would be best for him, because it wasn't just, like, he chose the school for Gabriella, or he chose, like, it's like he chose the school because it offered him the things he wanted. Which he wanted, was to be closer to her, but also to be able to play basketball, but also to do theater.
Pursue, theater. Yeah.
And I think it's he's not afraid of, like, emotions and vulnerability, which I think is cool, especially for a male character in the 2000s.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that he's, like, going through the struggle that a lot of teenagers go through. And a lot of the pressures of, like, especially, like, we never had, like, parents as a coach.
No, and
like,
so we were, like, young,
right,
kids,
like,
not like not as like a
but there's definitely that pressure of, like, wanting to be the best and, like, feeling like you need to be better because of that,
right. And also because his dad was a basketball player and went to that school,
right? And so I just like that he's, you know, he's got, like, a really good mix of things, which I think is important and I think is cool to see in a character.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last thing to rank are the movies themselves.
Yeah.
I think you get to go first, right, with this one? I think I picked a controversial order.
This is hard.
It was, but I feel secure in the way that I feel about it.
It's hard because I think I was trying to base it based off nostalgia, but also, like, what do I actually think is the better of the movie?
Yeah.
I put third as High School Musical 3, which I think... This was the one that was kind of made for theaters, bigger budget. But I think my main issue with the third movie is that there's a lot of, like, things that don't necessarily make sense. Like, a lot of, like, maybe plot holes and stuff, which is going to happen in a movie like that.
Yeah.
I also don't think the soundtrack is as strong, which it's hard because I've only seen the movie twice. And I've seen the other movies more often. But I think with a musical, the soundtrack... I have to incorporate the soundtrack into the rankings because it is an important part of the movie. I don't know. I do really like the character development you get. I like the kind of how they wrapped up the franchise. But I just think in terms of the 3, it's the one that I kind of was like, yeah, this is okay. But would I watch it again? I don't know. Probably not.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have High School Musical. The first one. Why I put it here is, I think, like you said, you're kind of looking at everything. You're looking at, like, the music and the story and the, like, everything. And it's incredibly nostalgic. I feel like it was a movie I watched a lot growing up. Breaking Free, I ranked as the best song from all 3 movies. So... I think what I ended up putting it here is that when you look at it as a collective, I think you can see the lack of budget and, like, kind of the lack of story. Like, it is a simple story, and while I think it works, I think when you put it up against the other 2 films, and if I'm looking at them for the sum of what they are, I feel like this one is the weakest for me. So,
yeah, I mean, 3. I went back and forth on High School Musical and High School Musical 3. I put High School Musical as number 2. I think part of that is the nostalgia and that kind of being the one I remember. I do think it's a pretty simple plot. I do think that there are, like, again, some, like, weird plot choices that are made. I do think, though, that the soundtrack is pretty solid. And I think it's hard to ignore the fact that, like, this movie, being the way it was, is why the franchise is successful.
Right.
We kind of talked about it when we talked about, like, Toy Story with Pixar.
Yeah.
Like, there's something to be said about a successful franchise and, like, what the first movie offered. And I think what the first movie offered was, like, a lot of simplicity, a lot of just, like, was it cheesy? Yes, but it knew what it was. And it knew what it was trying to be. And I think that I really like the strong sense of, like, identity that I feel with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 2, I have High School Musical 3. I was honestly surprised at how much I actually liked the third movie, considering I'm a 30-year-old adult watching a movie made for children.
For the first time.
Yeah. I feel like what really helped was, one, the story. I feel like having a stronger story than the first 2 movies, I think really helped it a lot, especially having Troy, like, have that, like, kind of, like, very realistic struggle.
Yeah.
I think really carried this film for me. I feel like the budget made some of the choreographed numbers very impactful.
Yeah.
Like the opening scene and, like, some of the numbers, I feel like it helped a lot. Like, having, like, visuals that worked really well with some of these songs. I don't think the soundtrack itself is necessarily the strongest.
Yeah.
Arguably, it's maybe the weakest of the 3, I probably would say. But I feel like for being a theatrical release, for having a higher budget, I feel like it's stronger than the original based on, like, character development, story, and, like, having those upgrades helped a lot in some departments.
Yeah. Number 1, I went with High School Musical 2. I think it's one of the better done sequels of, like, a franchise. I would say best soundtrack by far.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it has a pretty strong plot and a pretty strong conflict. I think setting it around a summer and, like, a summer job was a really smart move.
Yeah.
It gets us away from the high school and gets us into this new environment. I don't know. There's a lot about that movie that's very memorable to me. And I think of all 3 movies, it's the most rewatchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also just, I think, the most fun.
Yeah, it's very
of
fun.
The 3. I feel like it has a lot of really fun numbers.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, fun in the way they make people interact with each other.
Right.
Like, I love Ryan and Chad and Ryan and Gabriella having, interactions that they didn't have in the first film. And just having, like, Sharpay be over the top.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like there's just, like, a lot of fun that this movie has that kind of, like, improved upon the first movie.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like the third is a little bit more serious.
Yeah, a little bit, like, more adult. Yeah.
And so I kind of like we have this middle one that's a bit more, like, summer fun. Like, we're having, like, a summer vacation, we're having fun at this country club, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I feel like the music reflects that. And I think it's, like, if I think about, probably I've seen the second one the most out of, like, 1 and 2.
I definitely have.
And I think that's probably because it just, like, has a lot of rewatchability in, like, terms of the story and the songs.
Yeah.
Plus we get the Bet on It scene, and that's fantastic.
Iconic, yeah.
I live for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that is our High School Musical.
Yeah.
We did it.
And we went over 3 hours.
We did. Probably what I'm thinking is this is going to be 2 episodes.
Yeah. When we get to stuff that is, like, from our, like, growing up era, we, like, American Idol, we just get very passionate.
And American Girls.
Yeah.
I think American Idol, I had to make, when we were still trying to keep it under 2 hours episodes, I had to I cut, like, I want to say almost 30 minutes of stuff, which I'm not going to do with this one.
No.
Like, definitely there'll be cuts, but I think it makes more sense to just do it as a 2 episode thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was fun to revisit. Yeah. It was interesting to see the third one again because, like I said, hadn't seen it in a long time, and you had never seen it.
It was really interesting to be in this weird position where 1 and 2 I was so familiar with,
and then you're just
like,
not
listened to and watched so much, and then I just never got to the last movie. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I have wanted to go back and, like, read some of the series I used to read, like, in my youth, because there were some I just never finished because the books never, like, finished coming out while I was reading them, and then I kind of aged out. Like, I think, like, Artemis Fowl is one of the series, and there's a couple of them that I'm like, I'd love to, like, go back and finish a series and, like, see how it ends. So kind of like this, but a lot more work because they're books, and I'd have to, like, get all these books again. But I really enjoyed doing stuff like this. Yeah. So.
If you disagree, if you think Humanuka Wama Baba
is your favorite song,
is the best song, let us know.
Let us know.
We have an email. Email r3podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we have an Instagram, R3 Podcasts. We also have a Letterboxd account, which when this episode goes up, I'll be adding our High School Musical ratings to that and our ranking lists. I guess I'll do I don't know. I guess maybe I won't do a ranking list because it's only 3 movies.
Yeah, we can do a
rating. I'll do a rating. Like, we'll come to a consensus on a rating, and I'll give it little snippets from our review. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let us know.
But yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And we will be back.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
We would like to thank Joseph McDade for our intro music. He provides free music available for all kinds of creative use. The song that we used is called Sunrise Expedition, and you can find it and his other music on his website, josephmcdade.com. If you would like to reach us, you can email us at r3podcasts@gmail.com. That's R, the number 3, podcasts@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Instagram by searching Research Rank Repeat.
Okay. Now, what is your idea for an opening? Are you just going to go into it?
Yeah, do you want to discuss it first?
No, you just do what you want to do, and then we'll confirm. I can add to it if I want to do what I want to do. Or I was thinking of, and we'll see.